Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Hello and welcome to Fit to Love Tasty Tuesdays, all about cooking, all about nutrition, and all about you. If there's something you'd like to see on the show, we'd love to hear from you. Please send us an email at info@invisiblefitness.com. Enjoy the show. Today's show, we're going to take our homemade almond meal and make it into paleo chocolate chip cookie bars. So once you've dried your almond meal and you've put it away in a glass container, and you can put it just on the shelf, it doesn't have to be refrigerated, provided that it's completely dry. You want to blend it down into a flour. So I'm going to use my mini food processor, my little Cuisinart here, and I'm going to make flour out of it. I'm going to pour it into my Cuisinart, and we need about 2.5 cups for this recipe. Okay, now you have officially your own homemade almond meal. Use it on things that you want to make sweeter. Okay, we're gonna start off by using the wet ingredients first. I just think it's easier to start mixing all your wet ingredients and then add your dry ingredients. I like to make things as simple and as easy as possible. So we're gonna start off with 2 organic eggs. Use the whole egg, the yolk and the white. And I'm gonna beat those eggs. Then we're going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I cheat and use the cap, but if you want to pull out and use your measuring spoons, go for it. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And we're going to use 1/3 of a cup of either raw honey or maple syrup. That's our sweetener. Next, we're going to use 1/4 of a cup of organic coconut oil or organic grass-fed butter. Both are great. I'm going to use coconut oil today because it's really easy because it's all ready to pour. And we're going to mix that all up. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And for this, I am going to use the measuring spoon. We don't want too much baking soda. It won't taste good. So next, I'm going to add a dash of cinnamon. If you love cinnamon, you can add more. And if you don't like cinnamon, you can omit the cinnamon. But this is another great spice. It's anti-inflammatory, and I love the taste, and it really makes it very unique. So I'm going to add a dash of cinnamon. Okay, 2 dashes. All right, we're going to mix that around. And next, we're going to add our almond meal. So because we just ground some of our fresh homemade almond meal, I'm going to split this recipe in half. Now, this would be fine to use by itself, but I want to introduce you to another product that's so great. So I'm going to use a cup of our homemade almond meal. Perfect. Next, I'm going to use 1.5 cups of blanched almond meal. Blanched almond meal looks like cake, and it tastes like cake. When I discovered blanched almond meal, I mean, everyone who ate this thought it was amazing, and it did. It tasted like cake. So blanched almond meal is great. I would add a little bit of both. So we're gonna do 1.5 cups of the blanched almond meal. Okay, so I'm gonna stir my almond meals with my wet ingredients. And make sure I mix that really well. I get everything nice and wet. And then I'm going to add my chocolate chips. I'm going to use 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. But again, if you don't want it too chocolatey, add 1/2 cup. If you love chocolate chips, add a whole cup. If you want to add some nuts, add 1/4 of a cup of the nut of your choice. I'm using organic chocolate chips. Fold in your chocolate chips. And we're going to get ready to put it in the pan. So So the Pyrex that we used in the egg bake show is the perfect size. So I'm going to use 2 dishes, so that way I can keep it a little bit thinner, and I'm going to use coconut oil to spray it on the bottom. You're going to bake this at 350 for approximately 25 to 30 minutes. Again, watch it, put in a knife and make sure that it comes out clean and that it's fully cooked the whole way through. So you want to make sure that you use a glass Pyrex dish. Make sure to put some coconut oil or butter on the bottom so it doesn't stick. And when you fill it up, you only want to fill it less than halfway, because with the baking soda, it is going to rise. And you want to make sure that the whole thing bakes evenly. You don't want a dish that's smaller than this. This is actually perfect for this amount. But if you find that it's creeping up into the halfway point of the dish, you want to get a larger dish and spread it out a little thinner. So we're going to bake this at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes, making sure it's cooked all the way through.
The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly video casts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.TV. Have a fit and fabulous day.